fall apart at any second.
Why did you? Where did we get those?
Kitchen.
Where did they come from?
They came with the house.
Yeah.
Brick is now tipping the chair on its side to fix it or to put it out of its misery.
You like those chair sounds? Premium quality chair sounds. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Turbo Cult podcast.
Do we have a name?
It's already working its way out. I'll grab a different chair. Do we have a name? Oh, it'd be like the TVRBOCAST or something dumb.
TurboCast.
TVRBOCAST?
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
We could say, we could say TurboCast and then spell it TVRBOCAST.
Yeah.
So that people know it's not the other TurboCast that already exists, I'm
and
sure.
then it's on brand.
I need to turn your noise gate down.
My noise gate down?
Yeah.
Is
Mercuris
in Gatorade?
What about Rigorous?
I think it Rigorous Mortis. What?
It's epic gamer time.
What about Gluteus Maximus?
Get off Twitter. Why are you on Twitter? I know you're on Twitter now.
You're looking up news.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you want to? Okay, we should.
Is Mercurius in Gatorade? Checks Twitter.
Literally, here's what I want you to do.
Dumb astrology friends will fucking.
Oh
put your phone on mute.
Damn it, Bryce. It's Bryce.
Wouldn't I be Bryce in this situation?
No, I mean Bryce liked the tweet.
Oh, which tweet?
My tweet.
What'd you tweet about?
Our podcast setup.
I got a jangly bit on my phone. Though.
Is that why we're doing this? Because we watched Bryce and Brant do the bizarre briefing today?
You're the only person who watched Brant.
We both did.
Oh, did you?
Frick you, dude.
I said hi as you by accident because I was still logged in from the stream.
I woke up late today.
Sure did.
I mean, you woke up regular for every other day that we haven't planned to do work. But
here's the one thing. Okay, we started doing a schedule thing. I don't know why we started at 10 a.m. Like, none of us naturally wake up anywhere near 10 a.m.
I'm fine with it.
I naturally wake up around 9:30.
I'm bad at it. I naturally wake up around something past noon.
It's just, it feels good to get up in the morning time and get shit done throughout the day. No, I'm not. It felt good the first day we did it to get everything done.
I would feel perfectly fine if we did everything we've been doing, but started at noon.
Just turned your EQ on and it was already set.
Oh.
You got sound-goodized for a second.
Hell yeah.
Because yours is a little darker, and I want to turn it up to match this.
Dark? What does that mean?
You know what it is.
You know, like
any of my music producer friends? You know.
Like an event horizon, all the light gets sucked into it.
You know, like lights.
Isn't that weird how, like...
It's like lights, but
black
sound.
holes suck up light, but they're also real dark.
This is a ding-dong podcast.
No, you can't. That's trademarked.
In the words of Griffin McElroy. This is a ding-dong podcast.
That's trademarked.
Yeah, trademarked.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Literally open up Google and search weird news.
Dude, literally open up Google.
I'm going to go on Twitter.
No.
You can ask for questions because we have already answered questions on our other show.
Go on. Get on with it.
I don't know how to. I don't know how Twitter works. Where's the trending shit? All right. News. 78-year-old man says he's killed 90 women since 1970. Let's go to the next one.
Start out in a downer.
Video shows gender reveal that.
Oh, was it the one that burned down like 42,000 acres of land?
Okay, there's no punctuation on here, so it just says.
I watched that video.
Video shows a gender reveal that caused an $8.2 million wildfire.
Yep. What? A bunch of freaking idiots in like Arizona, I think it was. So they had
Please tell me they used some chemical that burned pink or blue.
Yes. they shot guns, you know. They used the gun to shoot a big box.
Oh my god, I'm watching the video now. Okay.
It's like they said it was like tannite or something.
Tannerite.
Yeah. And it just blew up and immediately they're in the middle of a dry, grassy field.
Okay, I'm watching the video now, and like if you did it in the woods, you'd probably be fine.
So yeah, but they decided
like in lush woods or in these in like a desert plain,
just
you'd
like
be
a
fine.
dirt area.
They are just shooting this in the middle of a giant dried grass field.
Dead for
So this is not an instance of this went wrong and there was an accident. This was
everything went according to plan.
Idiots have no idea what they're doing and do exactly what will start a wildfire.
Yep. Now they got to pay $8 million.
White people need to fucking chill with their gender reveals. Like it's.
Are we like okay?
Yes.
How do you like? What I want to know is
what do you want to know?
What do they think would happen? And B, does it start with them like, oh, it's this gender, everybody celebrates, and then eventually turns into, oh dang, we started everything on fire?
It was immediately like
so
the fire started. The fire started, and they were like, everybody pack up your things, we're going. Like you could if you watch it with audio, like the guy was just like, we gotta go.
Okay.
And it just immediately started like a horror, like there's just fire instantly. Yep, there it is. Yeah.
Well,
it was. Let's pick the driest, most dead, grass-filled area.
I got a story. You want to explain your short story?
A short story?
Yeah.
Did you write it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote it with my life. We were. It was grand old 4th of July weekend, and a friend of mine was like,
I wonder if it picks that up.
Hey, guess what? Guess what I got?
Wait, what happened?
It was 4th of July weekend.
4th of July weekend.
No, it was post 4th of July weekend, and my friend had gone.
July 5th weekend.
Post
It was
Malone.
Wisconsin or Canada, wherever he went. It was like, no, we got the good fireworks here.
Oh,
Like the stuff you can't buy in Minnesota. And he brought a bunch from back, like I don't know, bottle rockets and other stuff. And we were playing with them in the driveway, and it was cool. Except immediately across from our driveway was a big undeveloped piece of land that was just a field of kind of dryness.
Oh no!
And
I don't like where it's going.
Okay. Before you go any further, are you admitting to a crime right now?
I mean, other than setting off illegal fireworks, because I already admitted to that.
Okay, first off, that's barely illegal.
Yeah. It's like whatever.
It's like whatever.
Just don't
Like,
get
it's in the law.
Sidebar. You know where back home? You know where the Snap Fitness was, right?
Yes.
When it was technically Montevideo's mall, which was just a furniture store.
And a Snap Fitness?
No, the Snap Fitness was across from there.
Oh, okay.
But there was an office near the Snap Fitness that sold fireworks around the 4th of July. And they were like illegal for Minnesota fireworks. But it was a storefront that advertised like actual blowy uppy fireworks for
those are my
sale
favorite
here.
kind. The ones that don't look pretty or do anything, they just explode.
Yeah,
just
but I mean,
bombs.
they didn't care. Nobody cares.
Like M80s. Remember when M80s were a thing?
Yeah.
I've never actually held an M80, but I've heard stories from my relatives. You know how uncles are.
Oh, he's heard stories.
Anyways, we fired off this whatever it was, and like we lit it, and it was supposed to shoot straight up in the air, right? But as we're walking away, it falls over and immediately shoots into the field, and like started a small fire, which thankfully we like had access to a hose that could reach across the street. And we're just like, out, put it out now, quick, let's go. And nothing was set on fire except for like, I don't know, 2-3 foot area.
Let's just segue into story time. Your worst firework injury.
What is like?
I don't have one. This is gonna be fun for me.
I've actually been smart enough with fireworks to not actually get burnt.
I set off fireworks in South Korea. That was fun. I spent the New Year's in South Korea.
I've had some ringing ears, if that counts.
I have one. It's not very scarred on my finger, but get this. We were dicking around with fireworks, right? Not even the blowy uppy kind. Minnesota Safe, bought at
like
Walmart.
The like sprinkler, like
and
sprinkler.
I was holding one and I was shooting sparkles everywhere, and then it I don't know, backfired through the bottom of it, and I got like an immediate, like what I assume to be 1st degree burn on my finger. Like it scorched my finger and it blistered for like a month after that.
I've had some like sparks land on me, but they're usually by that point almost burnt out, and like you're just like, ooh, ow, hot. And,
Oof, ouch.
I mean, yeah, that's
ouch,
like
my skin.
that's like I got a bunch of like welding scars and stuff.
Like, see, that was the thing is I didn't get anything further than like a little red spot.
Yeah.
Oh, I got pretty seriously burned by
You never like
sparkle.
set your hair on fire or something?
No,
What?
What's another news item?
that's
Hit us with some more trending.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I'm just looking at
We're talking about some trends. Blowing
like
stuff
how
up.
about I'll just keep going down the list, and if
Setting,
it sticks, it sticks.
And if
Because some
it
of these
doesn't,
won't.
it doesn't.
Like
Just read the title.
Jeep debuts the Gladiator,
Don't
the car
care.
manufacturer's first truck in decades. I kind of care, except you know it's not going to be good because Jeep has not been putting out good things lately. Child breaks free from the crowd to join the Pope on stage. That's not the first time that's happened. Remember that kid sitting in the Pope's chair while he was talking about something, or that maybe that wasn't the Pope. Whatever. Elon Musk scraps portion of underground tunnel project slated to go under LA's 405 freeway. How come, like, the first I heard of Elon Musk's tunnel that he was digging was that they finished digging the tunnel? That was the first thing I heard.
He moves quickly. He's got a lot of money at his disposal.
Killed American went to island without missionary visa, group admits. Oh, is this the guy? This is the guy. John Allen Shaw was killed after landing on the remote Indian North Sentinel Island in a
Was this the
bid
guy that was killed by an arrow in the year 2018?
in a bid to convert the tribe's people to Christianity.
This was the dumbest thing I've heard in a while.
Like, okay.
The Washington Post reports that he spent years planning and training to travel there illegally. Years planning? Like this dude's like,
no.
If you're going to go to a remote island, I wouldn't recommend planning for days. Like, you got to get a little bit in there.
okay, I'm gonna skip over some.
I
of
will
these
say
'cause
though, as somebody who like personally knows missionaries that go into, you know, like unreached portions of jungles to try and convert people to Christianity, I'm pretty sure all of these people would have been like, "No, dude, that's a bad idea. Don't do this."
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the plot for at least 16 horror movies.
No, there's a movie. It's like Tip of the Spear or something.
Oh,
There's a movie that was about. Like,
I saw the trailers for that, and I'm like,
of course, with my family, we watched it.
was that like a faith-based production?
Probably. It was it was definitely one of those. It wasn't like a Castaway kind of like action movie. It was a faith.
Okay, I got some bad ones and I got some good ones. Like Trump answered Mueller questions on WikiLeaks and Trump's army. Nobody cares.
What?
A woman and her baby were killed by a grizzly bear in northern Canada. That's the entire headline. Just like a lady got mauled by a bear.
Okay.
Is Knickers really an absolute unit?
Except,
have you seen the cow we're talking about?
Oh yes, he's an absolute unit. Like he's
Is it?
6 foot tall, just standing.
oh
like
yeah,
that,
like that cow is 6 foot tall, like
on his forelegs.
like
I just like the headline.
that tall is like
Is he really an absolute unit?
it's like a foot taller than you on just standing around.
Slow down. You don't got to be coming at me like that. What did I say? Did I say that on one of the daily videos that if you're over 6 foot, you're a mutant?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, screw this. No, it's 2018. Like, the tide's got to turn. Remember when, like, dad bods were cool for a while? Like, oh, look, that guy's got a gut. That's hot to me now. And it's like, okay, yeah, how about we change it over to guys under 6 feet are now cool?
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
Oh, I'm 6'2", and it's like, you mutant.
I'm
Go play
I'm
basketball.
5'11" and
dingus.
3/4, so
Hey,
I'd
there you
still fit in there.
you're a cool guy.
And before you came along, I'm 5'8" and was the tallest person in this house.
Well-
which was funny because the landlady asked me, she was like, hey, when we were moving in, she's like, one of the fire alarms needs to be put back up because the previous tenants took it down. Can you put that up there? And I was gonna, and I told her, I'm probably the worst person to ask. I'm very short, which immediately I came upon the realization that I'm the tallest person that lives here. Oh no.
I want to, for anybody who hasn't seen the video, it is what appeared to me at first, without reading much of the title or anything, just like, oh, here's a video. it was like, oh, there's a cow amongst a bunch of calves. Like there's a full-grown cow and a bunch of babies just around. And then I'm like, oh no.
That is in fact an absolute unit.
Oh
He's
no.
like twice, maybe not twice, but like almost twice as tall. Like he stands out.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I want all of you, both of you, to imagine what this cow would look like standing on its hind legs, walking around.
12 feet tall?
like mountain troll size.
Jeez. Yeah, he's an absolute unit confirmed.
Brandon Moore, aka Young Busco, creator of the viral "What Are Those" meme, died in his sleep.
Wait, confirm
really?
something for me. I saw something on Facebook. You know how that goes.
Mhm.
That one of the creators / writers or animators for Studio Ghibli died.
Well, probably.
I mean, do you know which one?
Ghibli's been around since
Yeah,
like
I
the
know.
50s,
Confirm it.
and everybody that works on that is older than
Just
dirt.
search Studio Ghibli died.
Rest
And while
in
he's
peace.
doing that,
Rest in peace, SpongeBob. This is a sad cast now. Sorry.
bring this down. Here's an idea. So, what if we were going to talk about, whatever news articles we find, what if we did this like so many times a week or once a week or whatever? What if we each brought one story that we wanted to talk about to this table to discuss, and we'd go around?
I'd be down for that.
I mean, one of the Ghibli boys died
Okay.
in April.
I just
Is that
saw
what you
something
were thinking?
recent, so
Was it a retweet from like 6 months
retweet
ago?
on Facebook? I don't know. I was
People
like,
repost old stuff all the time.
Yeah, I
Facebook's
know.
pretty slow to the
Facebook's
punch.
real dumb. That's why I was like, bear with me. It was on the Facebook. Okay, we're good.
What's really bizarre to me is seeing like some viral piece of content from like 2010 show up on Facebook again. Get,
And
like,
people
10
are like,
million
"What
views.
is this? I've never seen this." And like,
That's because you got on the internet 2 years ago.
it's
It's
painful.
I have an interesting subject to discuss. Maybe not. Maybe it's dumb. But
Was that Brant?
Mhm.
Yes.
Brant coming in with the gifts.
Heck yeah.
Brant is always on point with those gifts. I need to find a cheap and quick,
cheap-
easy way to make gifts.
Just ask Brant how he do.
There's
Brant, how
a
you doing?
web browser
Brant, how
that
do
you
you
just
do
put
it?
in a certain you can put in a timestamp on a YouTube video.
And can you crop it? See that he's got the
Maybe.
hookup
I don't know.
on
I
some
haven't-
special tools.
Is Brant a better video editor than you?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, probably. I've
that's
watched him
his
work. He's
job. Like if he can make a modern Rogue a week or more than
he
one
does
a
the
week,
same thing as you, but makes probably way more than you do.
he does like
I bet.
Like,
that-
okay, you know how it is. If we wanted to, we could take our time and make everything, I don't know, perfect's not the word, but like professional-ish level. And half the time we're just like, throw the camera, put it up, take a video of that, throw it in the editor, chop these
I'm
parts out.
pretty sure Brian pays Brant an insane amount of money more than I pay you.
You mean because
You mean
you're
none?
paying me is basically letting me use the camera and the computer? We should find out how much it costs to rent that camera and lens and calculate my wages.
Okay, how many
It's been like a year.
Yeah.
and like just give me a ballpark. How many days do you think you've used my camera?
Half
Like,
of it at least.
at least probably, let's say,
Let's say 2/3 of it.
200 days, maybe?
we're talking about. Now, here's the thing. You can't be renting me the camera and having me film Turbo Cult because those are two things you'd have to pay me for,
Yeah.
right?
But I'm saying if you okay.
Anyways,
$124
to rent.
for 7 days.
So multiply that by
okay, hold on. So
40
for a
or
week,
something.
Yes.
How
that's
much?
more than the camera is worth. So you've basically, if I charged you every time you borrowed the camera to go shoot something, you would owe me $5,000 for this year.
Right.
We paid $3,500 for the camera and lens.
So in that case, real quick, just like divide that by 38. What's that divided by 38?
I don't know where you're going with this math.
Ouch.
Divided by 38. $130.
So now here's the truth to this situation is that $130 is probably less than what I would charge to edit 10 minutes, film and edit 10 minutes of video.
So it all just kind of works out.
Yeah. I mean, like, neither of us are like upset with this arrangement.
Oh God, no.
I don't think.
No, I'm perfectly
I'm
fine.
pissed about it. Let me tell you something.
Wimble, who's completely on the outside of this arrangement, is pissed.
Let me tell you something. When I was
Wimble
watching
Live is fucking pissed.
when I watch Brick buy an expensive camera rented to Ben and they're not paying each other and I don't see that money transfer, it's really pissing me off.
Like, no, it almost comes out like perfectly even.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
It almost comes out more in your favor.
a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's able to do all his music videos and stuff and make them look nice.
Now, here's the question. Do you want to film and edit all the Turbo Cults yourself?
No.
They'll never be done.
So
That's
it
the
seems
end
like
of
it
Turbo
works
Cult.
out.
You are the backbone of everything.
Oh,
The crooked backbone.
The thing
You
I
are
wanted-
the crooked, twisted spine of Turbo Cult media.
yeah. If I'm going to complain about something, I want to complain about Turbo Cult's healthcare plan. Because it's not
Absolutely.
great.
I'm the president and I don't have health care.
Speaking of healthcare, my chest hurts.
What if that was the goal to eventually, like,
Eventually it grows enough that we can afford.
Healthcare, and
by
that's
the
it.
like-
by the time this is out,
I mean, y'all want Cobra?
we'll probably have our Patreon up.
That'll-
That burp tasted like drywall. I don't know what's going on. We should get like
Everything smells like drywall down here.
I mean, it's
But we just
drywall
make
down
one of our Patreon goals like $500. We all have insurance now. Thanks, everybody.
$500. We now have fixed each one of our terrible, shitty bones, and can now be more active.
yeah,
We
except
will now bring you athletic content. I'll get back into the skating scene.
Yeah, like-
At $1,000, we'll start visiting therapists weekly so that we have the motivation and energy to give you more content.
Oh man, yeah.
it's like it's,
$1,000
we don't get separate therapists. We all go to the same therapy.
as a
session.
group.
Time.
We go
Yeah.
to group therapy, but it's not like our dynamic works fine.
Yeah.
Like us as a group, we've lived together for almost
Almost
2 years now.
is that
Yes? No.
And
Yes?
I feel
Well,
like
you mean as like if you add up all the
right?
time.
I'd say about a year and a half.
about a year and a half. Usually that's way past the precipice on friend groups moving in with each other and then the friendship falling apart.
Right.
Like I think we've made it.
It would have happened already.
Hey, I only lasted like 4 months when I first moved here. So,
Oh, you mean with that group?
mhm.
But yeah, I lived in Brick's house for as long as I could until I stopped breathing and had to move out.
Until
But
I
wasn't
died and
almost
moved on.
every day just a fun and exciting adventure though?
Yes, which is probably the only way I could put up with like infections breaking out on my face and
From my many
having to wear a respirator for
years
the
of
entire
smoking
time.
in my house and
And the
also the
cats-
many years of my house flooding randomly
I like kicked.
and mold.
And cats.
Here's what happened. I
Cats.
kicked 2 things in your, or like 2 or 3 things by accident that were just on your floor that cut my foot open, and every single time it got infected because there's nothing clean in that house.
No. Like I'm pretty sure like
Like it's
my
a good thing I
health.
had health insurance then because I had to get 2 different runs of antibiotics.
and like steroid injections and
Right. Because I couldn't take, well, no, actually, I'm going to be honest, that steroid injection that they gave me in place of prednisone was like what powered me through that Insomniac album. Like, I don't think I would have had the energy. Anyways. Yeah, so yeah, we're thinking about a Patreon. We've been
Yeah.
thinking about it, and we're like, if
are we
we're
gonna
going to go,
post this episode?
maybe, I don't know.
We might as well.
Yes.
Like, can we
We'll
call it
talk
episode
about it.
0?
This is bad. Yeah, this is episode 0.
Episode 0, the pilot. We were set up a bunch of
This is the-
mismatching microphones. We talked about buying dedicated mics for this that work
Yeah.
a little better. But oh yeah, the thing I was gonna say, it's not as relevant now. But do you get the feeling that there's like early to mid 2000s geek culture was like, you nerdy, I don't like it. You're some dude who's on the computer all the time, and then it was growing by like the 2010s, and now it's like internet culture is just regular culture.
It's okay. I feel like this is a subject that I can weigh in on heavily.
Right.
Is because I've been there. I've been on the internet since
You've been on the internet? What's there?
1995.
Yeah, I'm a
I've
bit
been
behind,
there.
like 97, but
I've been there the whole
Yeah, I'm like
time.
4 years behind you.
Like, and even to fill in the gap, like my mom went to college to be a computer secretary.
right.
So like
What-
I've experienced the entirety of the internet so far.
What happened with my family is that my uncle worked in the IT department of a big hospital in Madison, I believe. And basically every once in a while they would just upgrade all their computers, and he would just get one of their old ones or a bunch of them and then upgrade his computer and send his computer to our family. So we were always like when everybody else was moving to Windows 98, we were like, oh, sweet, we get Windows 95 now. We've upgraded from DAW.
Oh, yeah.
Windows 3.1 is what we were on in
From
like
DAW?
the mid-90s.
And that's like, I feel like my childhood was cool because that was my childhood was like a family friend of ours. His name is Mitch, who's still like, he's a cop now.
Hey, Mitch.
And he is like the coolest dude. But I feel like I actually haven't probably talked about this on like a video or anything, but he used to own the internet store. Which is,
Where you
I
go
mean,
buy the internet?
no, I mean like the internet service provider for the town we lived in. Because
Yeah,
back
okay.
then there wasn't AT&T or like Comcast or anything, and it was all the internets were like super local. Like if your town didn't have an internet service provider in it, your town didn't have internet. I grew up in a time where towns just didn't have internet yet. That's
Whack.
that's mildly scary to think about now. Like I'm freaking myself out.
To not have internet?
Like, could you imagine like going to a town and
And
they
there
just they
isn't
don't have
any?
they don't have credit card machines.
We're all just outside.
Like there's no like. But anyways,
People outside walking,
What?
but in the
going places.
in the late 90s, mid 2000s is when computers started just booming and wilding the fuck out. Which means that like parts became like insanely obsolete like a year after they come out. Like now you could build a rig with you could use like a 980 and you
Honestly,
could still like play some games and stuff. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
there's a legit, I mean, not for us, it's great, but for like NVIDIA, it's a problem that I can run any, I bought this, there's a 970 in here that I bought like in 2015 and it runs everything perfectly fine. It did any peak. Maybe if I upgraded to 4K, but like there's no reason for me to spend new money on graphics cards because they haven't made a big enough advancement to
Yeah.
make it the purchase worth
It's
it.
slowed down.
Like I bought
recently.
a 1080 not that long ago and I feel like I'm good for like the next 10 years. Like I don't really need to upgrade.
Yeah.
Like even though my CPU, but back then it was like I have 256 like megahertz of RAM, and then the
Right.
next year, we're selling 500 megahertz sticks. And then I remember it was in
Wait,
2007, I think it was like boom gigahertz sticks, and then it just blew up from there.
wait. When you say gigahertz, talking about, I
Like
missed the
a
first half of that
gigahertz.
sentence.
Okay, from 97 to 07, we went from like 32 megahertz
Megabytes? Megahertz?
or mega. I'm
Just
all
saying.
confused. Like, okay.
Because I was like, we're talking. I missed the first half because I was
I
adjusting
got my
the EQ, and I'm
CPUs.
like, are we talking
I got my
about
CPUs and my RAMs mixed up.
or RAM?
But I remember from like 97 to 07, we went from like sub 100 megabits.
Like 32
Okay.
megabytes, 64 megabytes of RAM. I remember.
And then we hit a gig. And then from 07 to 2017, we went from like a gigahertz in your system. Whoa, crazy, mind blowing. Now 64 gigs. You know what I mean? Like we just
64 gigabytes.
wiling the fuck out.
I feel like you have a legit issue with your suffixes when you get excited about talking.
Because you switch between gigahertz and gigabytes and
Well, that's because
You said megabits in there somewhere.
I know. Well, I mean, also the megahertz, like the speed at which stuff runs,
yeah, I bet
is,
megahertz.
is
Yeah.
insane.
We had a gigabyte. I remember my first gaming computer that I purchased and didn't Frankenstein out of others' old computers and buy a fancy graphics card. And by fancy, I mean when Office Max had them on sale.
Pre-built?
I bought like the budget card for gaming. I went and I bought like an actual, saved up all my money for my birthday in a few months and spent $700 on. It was like, I think it was like an Athlon dual core, 1 gigabyte. It had an 8600, a GTX 8600.
Ooh.
And I bought it specifically to play BioShock because my old one just couldn't do it at all. It had whopping 500 and
526?
256 megabytes.
Oh.
The 8600? Yeah, the 8600 had 250. No.
512? That doesn't seem like a lot.
No, okay. Because I can tell you because I in 07 or 08 when I started getting
How
money.
many viewers, how many listeners have we lost at this point?
Doesn't matter. Because I remember in 08 when I got my 8800, I got the 8800 512 edition. Because before that you could buy the 8800 256.
So the 8600
So the
probably
8600 had to be like 128.
maybe. It was 128 or 256. I'll look it up later. Anyways, and then now like we used to have like a gigabyte of RAM, and if you were really lucky, you get 2 or 3 gigabytes of RAM, and now there's that much just in a video card. And we've got I think 32 upstairs in the editing rig, and we should have 64 if we're editing 4K video, but RAM just got hecka expensive since freaking Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
Which
Hasn't it
has
kind of
been
come down
slowing
now?
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
The point-
Side note, I'm in the stock game now. I'm very small into the stock game.
Downloaded the Robinhood app is what, and you
Gold
invested.
prices are up, by the way. Like up by like
How much gold do you own?
I did own $24 of gold. I now own $26.58 of gold because it's up 50 cents today.
You're
Like,
making money.
It fluctuates like
Kind of.
like most other stocks fluctuate like a cent, 2 cents, 5 cents. Gold, like throughout the day, is like going up like $1, down $1. It's fucking volatile. But with this app, one of the things I watch is Bitcoin. And
How's it doing?
today, it started out at $3,900 and it ended at $40. But if you look back a month, even a week ago, no, about a month ago, Bitcoin was at $6,400, and now it's almost half that now.
See, I was afraid of that back when I sold my Bitcoin because I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh man, it's going up. It's going to be way too like." Also, side note, I won Bitcoin from some Reddit post about a guy who needed "What Is Math" video, and me and Lee, who you've probably seen in the podcast. Sorry, vlogs.
I was like, wait. Well,
Seen in the
what?
podcast. We put together one like first place, and we got 5 Bitcoins. And
Which
at the
around
time,
this time last year,
how much
that-
would that have been?
that would have been 5 Bitcoin.
Yeah,
the wheels are turning in his head right now.
this was like 2012, I think.
Oh, he's got to pull out the calculator.
What did
You
your
would have had
calculator say?
$100,000.
That's cool.
That's if we sold it at its very, very peak. We would have had to hold on to it for a lot of years. We sold it for like 200 each.
Which
So I
at
had
one point you
2.5,
could
I
have
made,
bought
like-
this house for the Bitcoin that you had.
Yes.
Which now, I mean, like a month ago, that was
Like 6K.
5 times. That would have been
Oh,
like
6K.
30 grand,
yeah.
and now it's like
Oh, it would have been 300.
no.
You said it was 60, didn't you?
6,000.
Oh.
It was 6,000 early in November, and then something happened, and now it's at like it dropped. It's at 41. It's going back
like,
up now.
I
Here's the thing.
imagine that Bitcoin is a lot of fun if you already have a bunch of money and you're just playing with
Kind of
it.
throwing it around.
Like the guy I bought my 1080 from,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
rolled up to this Craigslist deal in a Mercedes SL55 AMG. Like,
What's the retail on that?
I want a 1080.
And you got this 1080 because he was done with it after Bitcoin mining, correct?
no,
It
he
was a
this is one of the extras. They keep 1080. They buy 1080s constantly, and they'll keep just piles of them
Yeah.
for when they want to expand. Like, so if it's like Bitcoin's down right now, so which means you'd want to. I don't know how it works. I'm assuming if Bitcoin's down, you'd have a
Didn't
box.
he say he was
you'd have-
downsizing? And that's why he was
Yeah.
getting rid of a couple of them? Yeah.
Because he probably saw this coming. Because I mean, there's
Yeah.
people way smarter than me on this
Who
stuff.
actually know things about markets.
I mean, I kind of know about markets, but Bitcoin's one of those things where like you can only like mildly speculate. Like gold and stuff. But the one thing you can watch for Bitcoin is how the world's doing. Because like if the world's kind of safe, Bitcoin goes down.
Interesting.
And because Bitcoin doesn't matter where you're from or anything, because you can use Bitcoin wherever. Like I can go buy AKs off the black market right now for Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a world currency. So when the world starts getting more volatile, Bitcoin starts going up.
Because we're like, oh, I don't know how much this particular
Because I don't
currency is
know
going to be
if-
around.
Yeah, like because if you're in America and all of a sudden civil war breaks out or something, and then like eventually that'll mean the dollar becomes useless.
I'm waiting for our dollar to turn into Zimbabwe dollars.
Like at one point, I don't know. I don't know the validity.
Volatility?
No, validity.
Validity?
Validness. Validity. You know what I'm saying?
Validity.
Cutting all this out.
Nope. Validity.
We're not
Validity is a word.
Yeah, no, that's right. I
That's
just
what I'm
wondering
saying.
why you keep trying to pronounce it different.
Because you questioned me.
Well, because we were talking about the volatility of currencies, and I
Because
wanted
one of Trump's ideas for fixing money was to print more,
that sounds like a Trumpian idea.
which means all of a sudden a gallon of milk's $30.
also that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that's what happened in Zimbabwe, and that's also what the Federal Reserve has done before, and is the reason why our dollar's not worth as much as it used to be 100 years ago.
Or like in Germany after the World War, when people would wheelbarrow their wallets around and they wouldn't be afraid to get robbed because like, oh, here's 100,000 Deutschmarks in my wheelbarrow. I'm going to go buy a stick of butter. You know what I mean?
And that's honestly that's like the first sign someone doesn't understand how economy works if they suggest printing more money or just give like. I feel like you don't have to be a genius to understand that the more money there is just money is just a divider. Take all the total value of things and then divide it by how many dollars there are, and that's how much a dollar's worth. Kind of. That's not exactly right, but you can think of it.
It's
I
kind
mean,
of,
no,
of it
it's not
that
right,
way.
but like, you get it.
it's kind of like a general idea of what money is worth.
By printing more money, you're not making more value. You're just making the dollar worth less value.
Yeah, and see that was the thing with Bitcoin was that you'd mine for Bitcoin. You'd solve
Right.
stacks of information, and
Like
then you get rewarded in coin. But then see,
it's got built-in.
it gets harder the more you get. So the
Just
more
like
Bitcoin
gold.
that's out there,
That's the idea.
yeah, the more Bitcoin that's out there, the less it's worth. Or no, well, it's not. That's not.
It's the more
That's the confusing thing about Bitcoin, and that's why it's so volatile. Is that the
it's
more Bitcoin that's out there
theoretically
has
like
no imposition on its value.
it's supposed to act like a finite resource in that you're right, you don't lose value by finding more of it. But at the same time, the value of anything is whatever somebody will pay for it, and that's changing all the time.
And see, that's the wild thing about Bitcoin is just like the first time it tanked is just because everyone figured it out. Like normies found out about Bitcoin. Because remember, Bitcoin was kind of like this internet only. Well, there was a couple subcultures. There's like the internet only who were like, hey, I have a really good gaming rig. I can make a little bit of money mining Bitcoin. And then there's like some black market stuff that's like, hey, we can.
Let me take this
sell
moment
stuff.
to talk to you guys about Garlic Coin real quick.
Man, garlic coin.
We went on this venture for like a couple months.
Man, I remember there's a, I forget, it was like a bet by somebody,
Garlic coin.
or just an idea someone had, and someone's like, I'm gonna legit make garlic coin a thing, and it's not apparently a huge
What's that bitch
task.
worth right now?
I don't know. If
I got
it's
like
on,
Garlic coin.
It's
I don't
like
know if it's on the markets.
it's like half a cent.
It's on a few markets.
I remember
You can check the value.
watching that every
garlic
once in a while.
coin is not on my market that I can.
Okay.
Well, just Google it. Just garlic coin value. It should pull it from
Bitcoin
somewhere.
gold.
But I was there like I thought, hey, I like garlic bread. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna hop on
Hey,
this garlic coin train. At the very least, it's gonna be a fun community activity for a
Yeah.
few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
It was, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Oh
what,
yeah, no, I actually it was because it's like
You got a couple
Bitcoin-
things out of it.
Bitcoin is like, hey, where the way Bitcoin works is it's hard to get a Bitcoin because of how rare they are. So it's like, hey, let's all mine in a mining pool, and whenever a Bitcoin is found, we'll split it up among everybody in this pool. So more processing power gets it faster, and it's split up among everyone. So you're more likely to find one, even though you get less. It's more likely you'll generate some coin.
Yeah, it's
And I was on one of the garlic coin pools that was like the first day. It's easy to find garlic coin, so I made like, and it wasn't like, insanely easy, but I made like,
But we use the editing rig, which has. It's
Right.
not a slouch when
You
it
got a
comes to
total of like what,
processing
80
power.
garlic
honestly, that
coin?
would have been a fun vlog if I had thought to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up 34%, and it's 0.002065 of a dollar.
Now, see, I cashed out at
it was like what, 20 cents
No,
or less?
no, I paid. I generated over like 100 garlic coin. I still got some somewhere,
Yeah, I've got like 30 in my wallet
I
somewhere.
think I have like 6.
but did you? I don't remember if you got it working or if we
I
just
did.
sent you 6 garlic coin.
No, I got it working.
Okay.
Here's
But
Here's some
it was
garlic coin.
also that was also the times when my computer was having some
Yeah,
thermal issues.
Oh, yeah,
and I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
mind it that
there was
much.
a while that we were like, well, the community was like, hey, we're gonna go on deciding that garlic coin is worth $1, and people were like, you can buy shirts for 15 garlic
and people
coin,
were selling
or-
like Steam games and stuff.
yeah, and it was
it was like its own little
it was
market.
a fun exchange for a while.
Yeah.
And that's when I sold like 30 garlic coins for $60 and like bought pizza.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't you get like
Garlic bread. I
Yeah,
think it was
it
the
was-
joke.
yeah, it
that
was
you
$2.
bought garlic bread with garlic coin.
Yes, but
Was-
also pizza, because who orders
Yeah.
just garlic bread?
you have to order enough to get the takeout limit, so you order like $20 worth of garlic bread.
And then the people started selling it on public markets, and the price just nosedived to
yeah.
almost nothing.
Yeah.
But it was a fun little
But I mean,
adventure.
that's kind of how money works.
Yeah,
Money is
sometimes.
basically, I'm telling you this has value.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like if we were just in this house and it was like
Like
I'm
this
just like a battery. Like I'm telling you right now that a battery's worth $1.
this camera has inherent value because of what you can do with it. If you find like a really fancy looking rock, that value is whatever somebody will pay for it.
Yeah, that's like saying if batteries.
If
Like
batteries
if
were
like if we
currency.
were just like in this house only between the three of us, batteries now have currency. And I'm just telling you that a battery's worth $1.
we
It's
all
like-
agree to it.
But see, here's the thing: how that can work out though is, hey Ben, will you go buy me a pack of smokes? That's
I'll give you nine
I'll give you
batteries.
7 batteries,
And, like,
and then it's
okay.
like, okay, you have $7 worth of batteries, and then you're like, I'm gonna go to the store. Hey, Brickley, pick me up a chocolate milk. Here's 2 batteries, and if you just leave it at that forever, it's like we're lending each other money, but
we
like
just
the batteries just kind of keep counting,
Right.
which is what dollars are.
except with gold.
Except it's not how it works anymore. But that's how
Right.
it used to work. It's like,
We're
I'm
not-
giving you
we're on-
$1. This is $1 worth of gold that you can redeem.
Which
Again, gold.
like, I mean, if you've seen old banknotes, it's like, I'm going to give you this much gold. And they're like, all right, we're going to make this big note that says you give us this much gold and you
Yeah.
can retrieve it. and then you can give it to somebody else, and now that's their gold.
Now we're getting really. It's scary to think about. I don't like talking about this because I get scared of stuff.
Because the entire economy is just going to implode on itself one day.
It's not even. There isn't even anything physical now.
Yeah,
I have a thing on my phone that says I have $2,000.
Yeah.
I don't actually have anything. There's nothing physical that I actually have.
I haven't. Now, here's a fun fact. I've touched like, I don't
Kids.
know, like a few $100
$9.
worth of cash in the past 6 months.
I've touched like $10.
Every single-
Touch. Just.
So far this year, I've probably handled about maybe $1,000.
I was about to say, wait,
of
but that
actual
was last
cash
year
money.
when we held like $1,900.
Yeah.
We were
Like, last year when we had to take everything out
And that
of
was
an ATM.
that was literally like we have digital money and we turned it into physical money to give to someone to turn into digital money.
Yeah.
Because landlords are dumb and not with the times.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of my biggest pet peeves is like none of the apartments around here are 21st century apartments. They're all like, yeah, we take checks, and if you're really desperate, money orders.
Until we figured out that our apartment did in fact take internet payments.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
at
why
a ridiculous like
It was like a 1%
high,
fee.
like a 1% service fee.
which
Yeah.
is a lot
Convenience fee,
when you're
which is
paying
stupid.
over so much.
Yeah, $300.
But I mean that's how card processing companies make their money.
Yeah. Anyways, the point I was making about internet culture is that I saw a video of a bunch of kids in a classroom doing Fortnite dances, and none of them were getting Indian burns or swirlies. And I feel like kids
We need
these
to
days
bring
have
back
it-
bullying.
got
Kids these
cheated.
days have it too easy.
Okay, here's a hot take. I'm only as cool as I am now because I got bullied.
I mean, I feel like that's the case for a lot of people.
And now all the bullies are fucking losers.
That's
Now,
what I'm
here's the
saying.
question.
Is
Here's what I want to say.
That's
is
what you
that
get.
If this is going to be a thing that we talk about, we should do it next time because we're at 46 minutes.
just real quick, let's touch on bullying.
Or what if
Let's not touch on bullying.
what if that's how we start the next episode?
let's skip
What if we
that.
stop right now? and
No, I don't
start
want to
another
start the next episode talking about bullying. No, this is the first episode. It's going to be a mess. Let's just continue this mess.
All right.
Real quick, I want to close up
I'm
that.
hard cut off at 60 minutes. If you're talking, I will stop this podcast.
Okay, real quick, I want to touch back on the fact that I have a thing on my phone that says I have $2,000.
Yes.
I can buy goods with that. There's intrinsically no value at all. There's
yeah.
nothing to back up anything. Not even like a physical dollar.
Which is honestly,
Like I have a bank account that says I have $2,000. There's nothing. There isn't like 2,000 of my dollars in a vault somewhere. They just have money.
right.
None of that is actually mine.
And like in the abstract, there's an idea that 2,000 of that is yours because you at one point gave them, you transferred a number from some other place that was like,
it's scary to think about because there's nothing to back it up. And if one day you wake up and Donald Trump's on your television and says, "No more dollar," it's whatever physical.
it.
No more dollar.
No more dollar.
I think we have some checks and balances to keep that from happening.
Yeah,
But like,
I mean,
imagine if random space rock hits the U.S. and it's got some crazy magnetic effects that wipe out all the hard drives, and
I'm dead.
the records of everybody's money is gone.
Except also that's like the least of my concern.
yeah,
Like we're Stone Age now.
yes,
Everything we're goosed. What if
Like, that
every
was the-
electronic device is just now useless?
We don't have any more
plot-
podcasts.
No more podcast? Oh no!
The
Also,
plot
my
to
car
a
doesn't work.
popular network television show was, hey, we're gonna wipe out the credit records and debt records for everybody everywhere and like reset.
Except here's the thing to think about. All digital devices now don't work.
Well, no,
Your
they
car
were
don't
like,
work.
in
No, I'm
full-
just saying there's a sidebar.
Does that mean I can
All
drive
digital
a
things don't work anymore. My Volkswagen Rabbit will still run.
That's
There's not
true.
a single digital
Aw,
thing
I was
that
about
makes
to
that
say-
car run.
Do my tabs still matter then?
Are we talking about the wiping the debt scenario or the meteor with magnets hit the Earth scenario?
And
Yeah,
now
that one.
digital things are dead. My Volkswagen Rabbit will still do burnouts.
I'll just write in.
All the
It's mechanically
my,
fuel injected.
my scooter won't run, will it? Yours will, because you got a kickstart.
No, there's still. I suppose it's not digital.
Yes, if
There's
it's
nothing digital in my Scoot.
if it's electric, it's fine. My
Yeah, 'cause, I mean,
speedometer is already broken.
electricity will still work. There's no way you can just kill electricity.
Right.
That's not a thing that can happen. Bullying.
Bullying.
All right, so
All right, for the
you've
last
got 10
10
minutes.
minutes,
no
kids need to be bullied
No,
to
see,
an extent.
I saw that and I was like,
Saw what?
that's the Fortnite video, and then it was retweeted with "We need to bring bullying back."
I didn't
Right.
know that part.
Yeah, that's already
No,
a
that
thing.
was it.
And I
But
was
I
like,
feel like-
I was like, my first impression of when I saw that like a year ago when there was some dumb shit on the internet, I was like, yeah,
You need a
we
good
need to bring
chair.
it back. These kids are fucking dumb. But then like now I'm looking at them like, just let them have fun, man.
Can you imagine if when you
It's-
were a kid, everybody let you have all the fun you wanted to have?
Could you imagine
Like-
that you show up to school wearing fingerless gloves and a silk shirt with flames on it?
Yeah,
I don't
nobody-
have to imagine.
Nobody gave you shit for it?
Because I was homeschooled, and that group I showed up to was full of other homeschoolers. None of us had any idea of social norms.
Also, real
It was
quick,
just a madhouse of kids who did not know how to interact
Wasn't
with each other.
Brianna, who's arguably one of the coolest people we know now and has most of their shit
Right.
together. I've heard stories that she used to Naruto run down halls.
Oh no, she was the biggest dork in high school.
oh man.
Like that's the reason we are friends.
But here's the thing: when I got bullied in school, I don't know if this is this. Okay,
I mean, I
let's
guess
not
I got-
bring back bullying
Okay.
because that's okay as a general
I
blanket
got
thing.
I guess I got bullied for having long hair in like middle school.
I had a mullet through middle school,
I had whatever.
as seen on one of the TK dailies. Whenever you're watching this, but the thing is, like, I used to get in fights in school because someone was like, "Why don't you cut your fucking hair, loser, faggot?"
Yeah, and I
fuck
lived
you."
on a
And then
Navy
I'm like,
base, so it was like even worse. Everyone had
Yeah.
like shortcut hair, and I had long hair, and everyone was like,
Also,
get a haircut.
okay, you're gonna have to stop doing that because every time you do, it makes rumbly low noises.
I only got 9 minutes to explain how bullying works.
I got my whatever haircut my mom gave me.
Oh God, you poor thing.
It was for a significant portion of the '90s. It was bowl cuts, like,
all right, get
but,
on.
but they weren't that bad in the '90s. I feel like if you were still getting bowl cuts into the 2000s, you're probably
You're
getting.
all
I had a
tree.
mullet by choice. Like I still thought mullets were cool, and I used to get bullied. Which in my school, it was never like cut your hair, nerd. It wasn't that kind of bullying. It was cut your hair, nerd, shoved into a locker. Which
like you're talking about like 80s high school movie bullied.
yeah, we're like I used to get in fights like at least
Now,
once a week.
Here's a question. Is that like just an intrinsic thing that bullies know, or has bully culture been propagated through popular media?
No,
Who taught these
it's
kids how to
most-
shove kids in lockers is what I'm asking.
You're gonna see some kid in the hallway like shove somebody. Hey, you learned that in the movies? Cut that
No,
out.
like I,
Invent some new forms of bullying. Be creative. Be
Okay.
original.
okay, real quick, let's wrap the bullying thing up because there's another thing I want to talk about,
God
and it
dang
will
it.
only take 5 minutes.
And we have to wrap it up.
Yeah, like when I used to get bullied in school, it'd be like cut your hair, nerd, shoved into a locker, and then you'd throw hands, and then a bunch of kids would gather around and you'd beat each other up, and then a teacher would come and be like, "Stop it, you nerds!" and then you'd get detention. I had a lot of detention,
Okay.
but then you grow up, and then you're like, "What's up? I'm tough now because I fought my way through grade school. Because every time someone made fun of me, you'd stand up for yourself, and most of the time, I probably didn't win fights."
I
and I
mean,
got beat up.
you could skip that step and you could just be who you want to be and nobody stops you.
Yeah, but that means, but like, as my childhood was, I wasn't scared of being a weirdo. Like, I can
Well,
grow
good
a
luck.
mullet now.
Well, good for you.
Because if anyone gives you gruff, you just fight them, and that's how it should be.
I feel like that just continues the
You're-
cycle of violence.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Okay, second part that we have 7 minutes, 6 minutes. I don't know how, but there's so many traditions in school that were like, remember when you're in music class and you'd sing On Top of Old Smokey? And you'd be like, on top of Old Smokey, all covered in blood. I shot my poor teacher with a 44 slug. Like, I don't know how I knew that.
Okay, have
I
you
don't-
heard that?
Nope.
Me
Really?
neither. Is this a southwestern Minnesota thing?
Maybe.
First of all,
I feel like
the only thing we ever did was on top of spaghetti because
Okay, so we went to two different schools.
that's
I can't-
apparent.
Wait, am I having a revelation right now that my school was just incredibly violent?
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
Oh my goodness. Did I
like
have a
it's
did I
just
have
on
a
the fringes
hard
of
youth?
society.
Holy shit.
We don't go.
Is that why you're such
we
an
don't
asshole?
go to Granite.
Is what?
Is that why you're an asshole?
Cuz well I grew up with like if your clothes weren't if you weren't wearing Doc Martens, you'd get in a fight.
Like,
Hell yeah.
I'm just imagining now the Southwest Minnesota, like the darkest reaches of space, where only the space pirates go. That's where you grew up.
The like in your sci-fi space western
Right.
novel, this is
If
the
this is
schools-
Firefly, your school is the Ravagers.
I don't get that reference. But it's the one where it's like all the truckers
Weavers?
and bounty hunters and
Am I getting that? I feel like I'm getting two different space races
I don't-
mixed up.
Wait, is
Are you space racist?
Maybe I am.
Confirmed Ben is space.
Spacist.
All right, I'm
racist.
giving you another minute, and then we're wrapping up.
Let's just wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
So this has been
what did we all touch on?
so many things?
big old cow.
The cow
an
is
absolute unit.
confirmed absolute unit.
Confirmed absolute unit. Yes.
Bitcoin confirmed still confusing.
and also really volatile. Only invest if you're good at economy.
Money is scary.
Money
We
is
live
scary.
in a cyber
We live in a society.
we haven't realized it, but we live in like a cyberpunk future right now.
Also, be careful with fireworks.
Be careful with fireworks. If you're bullied,
Bullying is still bad,
bullying is still bad. Apparently, I just had a rough childhood.
but
Fight for what you believe in.
believe in the me. That,
Believe in the me that believes in you. My drill is the drill that'll pierce the heavens.
Thank you. This has been
Thank you. This has been
the TurboCast.
Thank you.
the
Good-
TVRBOCAST.
Good night.
Good night.